Hey guys. So we have a new update on the Billy Mansfield Jr. Case that we did that was our first episode, right? Our very first episode. We did get the updates and all that on the new information that the police have found and everything else. So we wanted to give you guys an update on it. So in 1998, just in case if you guys don't know actually the story and you're just coming in, called their Hunana police and asked them to search the Mansfield property for 21-year-old Sandra Graham. Tampa resident Sandra Graham went missing April 17th, 1980. Two of the four young women were identified quickly. They were 15-year-old Elaine Ziegler and 21-year-old Sandra Jean Graham. The other two women remained Jane Does until one was identified on July 2022. In July, sorry. Yeah, on July. 16-year-old Theresa Caroline Fillingim. How do you say it?
I'm not sure. Fillingim.
Her sister Margaret said Theresa was a week shy of her 17th birthday. She disappeared in 1980 after she didn't show up for a job interview in Tampa. Margaret reported her missing to Tampa police May 16, 1980. Margaret said she was contacted by the Hernando County Sheriff's Office in 2021 about Theresa's disappearance. Police met with her to obtain a DNA sample to establish a timeline for Theresa. 6 weeks later, Margaret learned that the DNA sample was a positive match in July 2021. With a new partnership with the University of North Texas and
I think it's Parabon
Nanolabs, which is a Virginia-based DNA technology company, they were able to confirm that it was Theresa. A profile to help identify her. After she was identified, investigators were able to work to determine that she was one of the Jane Does found at Mansfield property. Margaret said, "It gives me peace because I didn't lose her, that she was taken." That's when I was got one of the news alerts. That's the thing that I read too. That's what she said. Because they were lost because they didn't know she was still out there. She did get murdered. She took her own life. What she did, they were so confused.
And the thing, like, it's been over 40 years and you don't know what happened. Then finally, it's like you know what happened, and you
finally,
yeah.
And you know,
luckily, some of her family was still alive to get this news.
Yeah, because she's the one that only had four, including herself, made four of the family members, right?
So it's, I don't know if you read it or not, but
no,
it's yet. her brother, then there's a niece, and then a cousin
of the family line. Yeah. Theresa's remains were recently brought to a medical examiner's office. Margaret said, "I had to wait for them to gather all of her remains because they got shipped off to different universities for identification purposes and facial recognition things, all the modern stuff." She said she will cremate the remains and split the ashes with her brother. Margaret said, "The sad part of it is my whole family never knew what happened to her. My dad died without knowing, my mom died without knowing, my sister died without knowing."
And how sad is that, to just because it took so long to identify her, the parents and that other sister, they never got to realize that, you know.
Yeah, they passed away without actually knowing what happened to her.
Now, the one thing is, they released two kind of sketches, which they thought what the people looked like. The one kind of looked similar ish. I mean, they weren't the best.
Right.
For the time, you know, they can only do so much.
If you go to our Instagram page, you can see the pictures.
I don't know why they didn't try to see if that was her. I know like the bodies at the time were in different stages of decomposition, but I don't know why when.
So why wouldn't you try updated things throughout the years?
Luckily, they were able to do it now.
Yeah,
that's what's important.
Margaret says, I have a niece that knows, and I have a cousin I keep in touch with that knows what's going on, and then besides my brother, that's it. It's just the four of us. She said she is sharing her story now to encourage other families who may be looking for closure to not give up hope. Especially because this happened whenever they found the bodies. I'm assuming the 80s, 90s.
It was the early 80s.
Yeah.
And I like that message not to give up hope because, they waited 40 years.
And they finally found out.
So,
like, they finally can give her a proper resting.
And they can give her a proper goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other people, it might take, just as long or longer, but eventually, some of these people, especially with technology, how it's improved the light, some of these people can be identified that,
And I've also seen that a lot of the sheriffs, at least through the United States, a lot of the sheriffs are starting to, with the technology that's, come up now, they are trying to jump back into the old cold cases and bring them back to figure out what in the fuck actually happened, who did it, and everything else.
Because sometimes you just need updated technology to rerun it.
You need fresh eyes on it too,
and to get different results. Sometimes it's not always gonna happen, but sometimes
all I say, no matter what, like in a sad situation like this or whatever, that should be your key right there. Just never give up hope. Mm-hmm. One way or another, it could happen. It might not, but even though this situation was still saddened, at least positivity came out to where they have her home.
Yes.
One way or another. So in 1982, Billy pled guilty to the murders of the young women. He was convicted of the murders of 5 young women, 1 in California and 4 in Florida. Billy is currently... Oh, he's still alive?
For some reason, I thought he died.
I thought he died too.
When I looked him up, I was like, oh, he's still alive.
Okay. Yeah. Billy is currently in California prison serving 4 licenses. Oh, homie ain't never getting out.
Hell no, he killed all those people.
I'm glad that he's like... We're not going to put in my personal opinion right now. So, that's our little update that we have for you guys. For all of our listeners that follow us on YouTube, thank you so much for listening to us on here. We do have new videos that's coming soon. We have a new video that's already up. Thank you for all the listeners that's already listened to the other ones that's on there. Thank you for everybody that's listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Castbox,
your podcast.
Yeah, wherever you listen to us, we appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I think that's about it.